All right, welcome back to another episode of the 2021 MLB Draft Show. And tonight today we're joined by a favorite of the team. Definitely a favorite over at Prospects Live, a guy that's been just blowing up draft boards this spring, absolutely hitting the ever-living hell out of the ball. We've got Peyton Stovall out of, is it Houghton, Louisiana?
Houghton. Yes, sir. Houghton.
Houghton. Okay. I'm from Seattle. I don't have that drawl, so you're going to have to bear with me, man. Well, hey, Peyton, welcome to the show. I want to just kind of kick things off right away and open the floor to you. Give you the opportunity to introduce yourself. Tell the viewers who Peyton Stovall is on the baseball field.
My name's Peyton Stovall. I'm committed to play at the University of Arkansas. I've played baseball my whole entire life. It's always been my passion, my dream. It's something that I've always wanted to pursue into a career and hopefully a job, I guess you could say, one day. It's something that ever since I can remember, I've told my parents that that's something that ultimately that I want to do. And I've just continuously tried to work as hard as I can in order to get to that position. I've been, I've lived here all my life in this small town called Houghton. There's about 5,000 people, so everybody knows everybody. I've grown up playing here. And so, it's been awesome. And this journey that I'm on right now has been a blessing.
Now, Peyton, you get a lot of attention for the bat. It's a loud bat, and it got really loud this spring. But do you think that's kind of your strength on the baseball field, or how would you describe the whole package?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, kind of all the write-ups and everything that I've seen have come with my bat. But that's definitely probably, if I had to say, my number one strength, but also just a strength of mine also would probably be my baseball awareness and just being able just to understand the game and knowing the situation and knowing, just kind of like, for example, how many outs and what to do in that situation. And so that I feel like that is a strength of mine. But just the bat really has taken me to where it is now, and I'm blessed for that.
I gotta ask, man, what changes, what tweaks did you go through over the last 6 to 8 months? Because I watched you last summer. It was a good bat. I'll be honest. I mean, it didn't blow anybody away, I don't think, last summer. And then all of a sudden, you came in looking like a much more physical hitter. You're hitting for a lot more power than you did last summer. Were there any mechanical changes or process changes that you went through to get to where you're at?
So in the summer, I was about 170 pounds, 165 pounds, and everything I really hit. I mean, I felt like I had a really good summer, and I just drove balls and gaps more than I did out of the park. And so I went into the off season, and the guy that I train with, it's a compound, and there's a bunch of people that from around the area that go to it, whether it's basketball, football, or baseball, and we all went to it, or for your certain sport. And so the goal was for me to put on about 15 to 20 pounds in the off season before baseball season started. Me not playing football this year really helped. I played football for 2 years of my high school career playing quarterback, and I thought this was a good time to walk away from it and pursue my ultimate dream of playing baseball. And so that gave me a lot more time to focus on gaining strength and gaining weight. And so I just kind of worked hard. I gained a lot of muscle. I got up to about 190 pounds, and I gained 20 pounds in about 3 or 4 months in the off season. And I really honestly think that's what's helped me the most as far as the pull side power and just being able to drive balls out of the park now, as in being 20 pounds, not weighing as much, being 20 pounds lighter, was kind of just I was driving balls in the gap.
Yeah. No, I mean, the 20 pounds that you added during the pandemic, very different than the 20 pounds most people added, I think. You got yours in a little different method. I got to ask a little bit about the quarterback thing, because not only were you playing football, playing quarterback, you were the starting quarterback. I mean, going into your senior year of high school, how difficult is it for someone like you, the starting quarterback at the high school, to turn it down, to walk away?
Yeah, I mean, it was tough. We were really good my sophomore and junior year. My junior year, we went to the state semifinals, and we lost out on a game that we should have won. We had like 7 trips down in the red zone, and we couldn't convert on 5 of them. And so it was one of those games where we look back on, and to this day, we all think that we should have won and we should have been playing for a state championship. And so it was really tough. I had a bunch of friends, some of my best friends that are in my grade. They've continued playing football. I have 3 really friend, like I guess best friends that you could classify, and all three of them played football, and they're football guys over baseball guys. And so it was tough. I mean, I knew that going into it, I talked to my family throughout the summer about it. I attended football workouts going into senior year throughout the summer. And I told myself, we talked and my family talked, and we decided it was going to be best for me to just go through the summer workouts and make a decision later in the year. Well, right before I went to East Coast Pro and area code, that's when we sat down for real, and we started talking about it a lot more. And we decided at that time it was just what was best. And that's what I needed to do in my future in order to make me more successful on the baseball field. And it was really tough. I remember texting all my offensive linemen the day that I did do it, the 5 starting ones, and just telling them, just thanking them and appreciating them for everything that they've done for me. And so it was really tough, but ultimately I knew it was best for me.
Yeah. I mean, those are the types of stories that kind of get left behind a little bit when someone chooses one sport. I want to ask a little bit about your upbringing and playing ball in Louisiana, because I'll drop a fact on you here. There hasn't been a high school player drafted out of Louisiana in the top 2 rounds in 7 years. Not exactly considered a hotbed in a lot of cases. How much pride do you take in coming from Louisiana and coming up from those roots?
I take a lot of pride into that. Being right beside the great state of Texas, Louisiana doesn't get a lot of recognition, and so just the athletes that are grown in Louisiana, they kind of just fly under the radar, kind of like you said. Josh Pearson, Cade Woods, Jack Walker down in Barb, they're all having phenomenal years, and you don't really hear about it as much as you would a guy from Texas or a guy out in Georgia or Florida, just because it's kind of tucked away down in the South. And so I take a lot of pride into that, and especially it being in my home state.
Now, you committed to the University of Arkansas, absolute factory for big league talent. They've got more big league talent infielders right there, and especially with Robert Moore, and you see Colin Smith and Matt Goodhart that are coming up. What kind of pushed you towards becoming a Razorback?
Just the player development is the number one in the country. I mean, that's a proven fact. All SEC coaches have gotten together and they've talked about it, and they all voted that Arkansas was the number one player development place in order to what every baseball player wants to do, especially playing at that level, is playing in the big leagues. And I definitely took that into account. And then also it just felt like home when I went up there on my visit. The coaches were awesome. We have a great connection. I talked to Coach Van Horn and Coach Thompson almost weekly. And so it was awesome to be able to talk to them, as much frequent as I have been, just because of the connection we've had. And then on top of that, the atmosphere in Fayetteville and Baum Walker is, it's you can't beat it. It's one of the best atmospheres in college baseball. And just going up there and watching a football game and being around the coaches and stuff, it was awesome. And, I really felt like it was home to me.
So I got to ask, you're a middle infielder. You got a sweet lefty swing. Coming from Louisiana, I mean, is there a big leaguer that you've modeled your game after, or that you kind of look at and say, man, I'd love to play like that guy, or you think you play like that guy?
Not really somebody that I've I guess tried to emulate, but I know somebody that I've kind of been compared to, and that's with Todd Walker. Todd Walker, he came out of Louisiana, playing for LSU and played, had a successful career in the big leagues. And so that's a guy, just the left-handed bat that he brought to the table in the second baseman. I kind of feel like we compare a lot in a sense. And so that's just kind of somebody that every now and then I'll think about and be like, you know what, I kind of have the tools and stuff that he had. And that's really exciting. And it makes me really happy and excited to know that somebody of that caliber of talent that I'm being compared to.
Is there a guy in the big leagues right now that you enjoy watching more than others?
I like watching Tatis play, just because his swagger, his electricity that he brings to the field, and rewriting the unwritten rules of baseball. I really like that, and it makes the game exciting and it makes baseball fun. And I also like the way I've always said that I've always loved the way Freddie Freeman hits and uses every part of the field, especially when it comes to the left field line. I mean, you look at a spray chart of him when he won the MVP last year. I mean, it was ridiculous. He was using the left field line just as much as his pull side.
Let's talk a little bit about area code games and East Coast Pro and the 2020 summer as a whole. Obviously, a little bit different than what most summers would be, but was there a highlight? Was there a guy that you faced, that you stepped into the box and you said, man, for example, Andy Painter, Jackson Jobe. Like, I'm facing against some of the best arms in the country here. Is there maybe an at bat that sticks out?
Yeah, for sure. I remember at Under Armour games, I faced Carter Holton, and he was extremely good. I mean, extremely talented. And I think it was kind of one of those at bats where that was one of the at bats in my summer where I mean, he gave it to me pretty handedly. I want to say it was 3 or 4 pitches, and I was I didn't even think I swung. I was just walking back to the dugout. But yeah, that's one that stuck out to me. And then also there was one, not necessarily an area code, but at the WWBA, Ryan Johnson out of Texas. We were playing them, and I want to say the second round or quarterfinals, one of the two of the WWBA. And my last at bat, he was pitching against us, and he threw a changeup, and it was one of the best changeups I've probably ever seen. I got comments from the dugout saying I swung like a sword, which if I look back at it, I did. But yeah, it was those two are really pitchers that come to mind.
Okay. So let's talk next steps. You got 3 months until the MLB draft. You got potentially 4 months until you enroll at Arkansas. What sort of things are you looking to accomplish? How are you looking to grow? How are you looking to develop in these next 3 or 4 months?
Just keep being a great teammate. Just understanding the game a lot more. I can always understand baseball more, and I can always learn, and just being the best teammate that I can be, just like I said, and putting my team in the best situation to win ultimately in high school. And that's what I'm worried about right now. And then when that time comes, after our high school season, I haven't really thought about it or made up my mind of what I'm going to do as far as ball wise. But just as of right now in the present, just make sure that I put my team and my teammates in the best situation for us to win night in and night out.
Okay. July 12th, July 13th, there's going to be people YouTubing Peyton Stovall, new fan bases from a big league organization. We think you're going to have your name selected. I want to kind of give you the opportunity to just say, what is a big league organization getting in Peyton Stovall? What should those fans look forward to having?
They're going to get a guy that loves to be around his teammates and that loves the atmosphere that he's around and that loves the energy and creates energy off of the fans and how much they value their team. I love being around guys in the locker room and ultimately just playing whatever position I can in order to have make the team be successful and put the best team in the best situation to win. I feel like a lot of guys can kind of get a little bit too selfish as far as with all this kind of goes on, and I just feel like that's what the opposite I am. I'm more of a selfless player and want to put the team in the best situation. And I feel like as an organization that would draft me, that's what they'll see. That's what'll stand out the most.
Okay, Peyton, I'll leave you with one last question, and this may be looking way too far ahead, and it's okay to say that. You're potentially entering pro ball here in a few months, and I got to know, are there any goals that you've set for yourself as an individual at the big league level down the road?
Just the one goal that I've set is playing on TV one day and clicking on the TV and seeing Peyton Stovall with the stats up there and being able to play one day. That's the ultimate goal that I'm getting to right now, and I'm not going to stop until I get there.
I love it, man. Humble beginnings, but confidence for sure. Well, Peyton, thank you so much for joining the show today, man. I think I can speak for Prospects Live, and I probably can speak for future fan bases when I say you've left a strong impression, and we're going to be rooting for you, man. I can't wait to see where you go in July, and I can't wait to see what's next for Peyton Stovall.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, and thank you all for letting me take the time to talk to y'all.